listen and understand. That Terminator is out there. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop. Ever. Until you are dead. Welcome to the Pixel Pop Movie Podcast. I thought I'd started on something, bright and cheery. I'm your host, Toby. This fortnight, I'm joined by the excellent Ethan.
I'm excellent, woohoo!
And the delicious Dan.
I'm super delicious this week, trust me.
Super delicious. We've got a bit of news to get through this fortnight. We're actually a day late, but that was mainly, I think, we were a little bit busy. Plus, we wanted to wait for the Captain Marvel trailer to drop, which it has, so that's on our news list. So we've got a bit of news to get through, a few trailers to get through. Then Ethan's going to be spoiling us with a spoiler-free summary and thoughts on the new Spider-Man animated film that's hit the cinemas. And then we're going to be talking about the Terminator filmography, now that filming is sort of underway, or I think there might even be an editing on Terminator 6. We thought it'd be a good time to sort of have a chat about the series that's been going for 30-something years now. But before we get into all of that, let's start with the news. Please take us away, Ethan.
First bit of news we've got. It's currently a rumour, but a Rocket and Groot TV show may be headed to Disney+, which is their upcoming streaming service. This is reported by Jeremy Conrad from MCU Cosmic, and he has been quite reliable with a lot of stuff regarding Marvel. So this could be big, considering we're not going to have Guardians of the Galaxy for any time soon, that being on a definite hold. And everyone loves Rocket and Groot, so why not do a series about it?
You know what the other advantage with using these two characters is, to some degree, is that they're
No
CG.
actor?
Yes, there's no actor.
Yeah.
Which allows them to, they can push forwards in this, they can start animations and stuff a hell of a lot quicker, and get things rolling a lot quicker.
I mean, and this could even most likely be set before Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. They could get early stuff with Rocket and Groot from there.
Yeah.
Easy.
Early stuff is really good with those guys as well.
And I mean, like, you could just run into like Vin Diesel at his home and get him to say, "I'm Groot" 40 times, and he's got the whole series done.
Pretty sure he's done. Has he not done the full vocal range anyway for these movies by now?
Pretty much, yeah. He's done
Probably,
everything he needs to do, yeah. He's
And
done
it's 3 movies
done
on.
that.
And if it's a prequel, it would be the original Groot.
Yeah, the big one.
Well,
Groot,
not necessarily the big one,
Well,
but just
maybe
the earlier
not.
one.
Yeah.
It could be the Groot before the Groot. So,
Yeah.
So this
Thanks to your reply on Twitter. I think you tweeted him, didn't you, actually? And
me.
yeah, didn't you Twitter Gunn about that? I know you tweeted him about his name and got a response. Because remember we said, is his name Tree? And he shot that down.
Oh yes, someone else asked that, and he said no, it's not true. His
Right,
name is Groot.
okay. Yeah, but it is. He did tweet that it's not the same Groot.
Yeah, it's not the same Groot. It's
Yeah.
pretty much like saying it's Groot's son, really.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they were saying. Yeah, So that Groot's dead, and then the Groot that we now have is his offspring, essentially.
Yeah. That's just fun.
Yeah, and I mean, and this joins. They've officially confirmed the Loki series with Tom Hiddleston returning. That's officially confirmed by Disney.
Yep.
The Scarlet Witch show isn't, but it's rumored to be called Vision and the Scarlet Witch. He's going to play a role in it too. That's still unconfirmed. And we still have the Bucky and Falcon series that's rumored as well.
I got a sneaky. Sorry, go on, Dan.
Are these all live action?
Yes.
Oh.
I got a sneaky suspicion the Vision Scarlet Witch storyline is going to be set in Scotland in that sort of romantic period, pre Avengers. It would make the most sense because, I mean, obviously we don't know what's happening going forward, but it would kind of make the most sense.
Yeah, and there's 3-year gap between Civil War and Infinity War.
Yeah.
So there's 3 years there, unless something happens in Avengers 4, and characters might be alive.
Maybe.
Who knows? We'll find out.
We will.
There's some good memes going around about Avengers 4 and like the beginnings. So there's some good stuff.
Next, we have Rebellion, the owner of Judge Dredd and several other comics, opening their own TV and film studio.
Right.
They purchased the studio space for $100 million US, which is a shit ton. But they also, and this is good because they have the upcoming Dredd series, Judge Dredd Mega City 1.
Not really, though. I mean, think about it. Most movies are about 150 million for an action blockbuster.
So, and this is just to buy the studio space for it. So,
Yeah.
they have Judge Dredd Mega City 1. We don't know if Carl Urban's returning. He said he would like to.
Yes.
And they're also doing a Rogue Trooper movie, which is being directed by Duncan Jones, who did Moon, Mute, Source Code, Warcraft. he's confirmed to be doing that
I
as
would
well.
be all over a Judge Dredd series, provided they keep that R rating. I think it could be amazing.
I think they would. I feel like, I know they're trying to ship it around to like cable networks in America, so like Showtime and Stars, where it can be that gory, as well as several other streaming services. They're trying to shop it around to them. So I'd say it will most likely be very R-rated, like the movie was.
I hope so. Yeah, because I really liked that last movie.
Just HBO will do it fine.
I mean, yeah, HBO as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Next, we have a live-action Cowboy Bebop series is headed to Netflix. Now, I've never seen this, but apparently it's really good. A lot of people love it. I've been told to watch it, so I'll probably will start it soon.
Wait, but you were told to watch it, which means that you'll dig your heels in and never watch it.
I'm a bit more lenient these days, alright?
I mean, how long did it take us to get you to watch Sicario?
About 6 months, I'd say.
Have you watched Die Hard yet?
Yeah, I watched it last year at Christmas. I told you that.
Right, okay. I mean, we have to pound away on these important issues.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I'm probably going to forget about Cowboy Bebop in like a week anyway, so I'll be alright.
Yeah, I too have heard it's good, but I'm not a big anime person, so...
I've only just recently started getting back into anime, so I'll probably use this as my next one.
I'm literally looking at it right now, and I will be watching it, yeah.
It's a trap.
We also have a Spider-Gwen film, which is a spin-off from the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which it releases worldwide next Thursday. They're doing a Spider-Gwen spin-off movie, which will be focused on her, as well as 3 other generations of Spider-Woman, as well as a sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, which will still focus on Miles Morales as well.
That makes me very happy. I love Spider-Gwen. I'm
going to get into a spoiler-free of this later on, so we'll talk more about it then.
Yeah, I guess the hype for this film is really going to depend on if you've seen, Into the Spider-Verse and how much you enjoyed that.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that film, then you sort of hear about this, you're like, eh. So,
well, that's why they see that they've put these in development now because of how much buzz there is around Spider-Verse, even though it's not out yet. They've taken how much buzz and interest there is for it to be like, all right, let's start doing something with this.
Yeah, yep.
We also had early reviews, or critic reviews, for Aquaman came out. Everyone is saying it's a really, really good movie, which I'm actually looking forward to watching a DC movie for once, so I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, I also saw reviews, and they can't say anything specific, but they're like, it's kind of like Phase 1 Marvel is what a lot of people were referring back to, and just a really, really dark version, but like, yeah. I'm really
the review I read was something along the lines of, we haven't seen DC this good since The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I also saw that.
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of what DC needs, I guess. So I'm sure Jesse will be happy.
No, he didn't want to watch this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
the thing I find,
didn't want to watch it.
The thing I find really, really good about it is if their comeback movie is Aquaman, like the least exciting superhero in all the comic books, and it's like Aquaman brings back DC. That just made me happy.
I mean, he
spoke to Fish. Okay, that's not true.
I just hope James Wan has managed to sort of dumb down the dude bro kind of yeehaw crap.
No.
I don't believe so. But he also did state today, I saw an article on him, he really wants to direct a Batman movie.
He wants to do like a really horror, scary Batman movie.
Yeah, and I'd be so fine with that. Like the Smiling Batman, like the one where he's like Joker.
The Batman who laughs.
Yeah, I watched the shit out of that. Oh man.
Yeah, cool.
Next we have a Blue Beetle. DC and Warner Bros. are developing a Jamie Reyes movie. So there's that. If you know who Blue Beetle is, then you might be excited.
It's actually Jaime Reyes. It's Jaime. It's not Jamie. It's Jaime.
He did appear in Smallville, and we all know how terrible the series Smallville was. But I mean, yeah,
best series ever.
So we have that as well. We also got a Blade Runner animated series coming to Adult Swim. Got announced. It's called Blade Runner Black Lotus, and it's being done by the same guy who directed the short animated Blade Runner movie that came out before 2049 did. Who also did, I think, Cowboy Bebop and Ghost in the Shell. He's known for those. So this has a lot of people excited too.
Yeah, I mean, me being one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
There's also some rumors, nothing concrete or locked in, but there's quite some rumors that original talent from the movies might be interested in coming back and doing some voice work. They've hinted they've certainly hinted that the characters from the movies may be appearing. So I don't think it's going to be a complete standalone, from what I read.
Well, this is the animated series is set 17 years before the movie, though. So
yeah, but I mean, it wouldn't be impossible to show
no, it wouldn't be. Nah.
What some of the characters were doing during that period. So
yeah,
that'd be cool, especially if it allows Harrison Ford and Sean Young, perhaps, who obviously have aged now, but they could reprise their characters when they're younger in their lives, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
exactly,
sort of tell more of that story. That'd be really cool. But either way, I'm happy for more Blade Runner, because despite the last film, I think, being excellent, I don't think it did well enough at the box office that I doubt they'll continue, to be honest. Which is sad, but that's the way it is.
Recently, the Russo brothers have done a couple interviews, and Joe Russo has said, to quote, they're talking about Chris Evans on his departure from Captain America, is what everyone thinks. He says, I think it was more emotional for Chris Evans than it was for us. Mostly because he's not done yet. I don't want to explain what I mean, but audiences will soon understand.
He's coming back as Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, can you imagine?
Here's the thing, though. The funniest thing was, one of the original drafts for Deadpool 2 is they wanted both lots of Fantastic Four to be in the movie and to come and audition for them for the X-Force. They wanted both Chris Evans and Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm to rock up. To me, that would have been fucking amazing to have both lots of Fantastic Four show up in that movie. It would have been so good.
Yeah. That would have been pure gold.
I'm still feverishly dreaming and hoping of a Howling Commandos miniseries.
You won't, Toby. You're not going to get a Howling Commandos.
I want Howling Commandos, damn it! Give it to me!
No one wants to see that.
Bullshit! I want to see that.
One person wants to see it.
Well, I'm important, god damn it. I want to see Howling Commandos. That would be amazing.
I mean, it'd be pretty funny, I guess.
No, he could.
I mean,
who knows? He might show up in one of their series. Oh no, the series aren't going to have the big main characters in it, so never mind.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they mean. He might be in another Captain America movie. He might show up in Spider-Man Far From Home. Who knows?
Yeah, guess we'll find out.
He'll probably show up in Deadpool, and well, in the comics, Deadpool is Cap's one of the people that Deadpool looks up to, mate.
Yeah, that's true.
And that would be pretty
to be
cool.
To be fair, I mean, they're just saying Chris Evans isn't done, because I don't think he actually said Captain America. He just said Chris Evans isn't done with the MCU. But
what else was he going to do?
Well, no, this is what I was about to say. There's something to keep in mind. I know Chris Evans has been very keen in moving into directing. So maybe they might have him come in and do some work on one of the Disney Plus. Maybe he'll do an episode or something. So they might be referring to that as well. So, let's not.
It sounds like it's more or less him playing the character.
I don't think it was implied though, because he sort of did his big goodbye, and then they're just saying he's not quite done yet. Again, it might not be what you think. It might not be an acting gig. It could be something else.
It might not.
Well, and you got to remember they do so many prequels to all these movies now as well. They're bringing people in when they were younger and younger, so he could just appear in a prequel for another movie. And you have Fury and Coulson going to be in Captain Marvel. He could appear in something else.
Maybe
what if they get them
they'll bring the deleted scene out of Hulk into Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
You see him in the ice, right?
Yeah. Next we have some iconic Roald Dahl stories coming to Netflix as an animated series.
This is
which
really
include
cool.
Charlie the Chocolate Factory, the BFG, Matilda, the Twits, and a lot more.
Yeah, which is what's really exciting for me is the Twits is one of my more Twits is one of my favorites of Dahl's stuff, and it's never been turned into, as far as I know, a cartoon or movie or anything. So I'm really keen to see that come to life, because it's a funny story. It's a great story.
There's so much on there. 15 shows.
Yep.
But you gotta remember, he wrote a lot of stuff, and
he did.
And most of it was really, really good. So yeah.
This is a win for Netflix as far as I can say, and I mean, I guess they're gonna want to release it sort of smack bang, either the winter or summer holiday break, next year. So depending on how quickly they get it done.
Next we have Marvel's next big screen superhero is Shang-Chi.
Why not just Iron Fist? Why not just Iron Fist?
Because Iron Fist was shit, and that's why it got cancelled. So
yeah, but exactly. Now do it properly. Instead, we've got this Chinese character who's like, he's not even a superhero. He's a hero. He doesn't have any superpowers.
No, he doesn't.
No, he can duplicate himself. Later on, he got the powers to duplicate himself.
That's cute.
As many times as he wants.
Well, it just sounds fucking annoying to me. Like,
and they all can do kung fu. So think about how strong that is.
So
right. So there's 500,000 of this guy. It's versus the Hulk. I would watch that fight. But I mean, seriously, if you want to bring a kung fu character to the screen, they should be doing Iron Fist. Recast it.
It's not for a kung fu character. It's to bring in more multicultural characters from the MCU. If they did Iron Fist, he'd still be a white dude. It's more to appease the Jackie Chan.
I think it's more to ingratiate themselves with the Chinese audience, which Marvel's trying to break into more and more, and has been doing quite profitable. Good business with them. They've been making good money out of those Chinese cinemas, and I think this is just more of a play to that, to be honest. I don't think it's anything so political as being more multicultural, although admittedly Marvel and their subsidiaries have been doing that. I think this is more about dollars, to be honest.
Yeah, just get Jackie Chan to play it and I'll watch it.
No, it'll be some young guy, won't be an old one.
Yeah,
I'll watch Jackie Chan.
But
don't want to make another franchise.
It's just because this is too. I mean, yeah, he can duplicate himself, but it really does. I mean, if you look at the character's profile and what he's done, he used to team up in Heroes for Hire. He's a New York street level hero. He's not cosmic. He's not global.
So is Daredevil.
Yeah, and that's my point. None of those characters recently in the MCU have hit the big screen. They've all been TV shows. So it's odd that we've taken a sort of a second-rate street-level crime fighter and we're bringing him into the big screen. That just seems really weird to me.
Yeah, and the fact that those shows all got cancelled, they can't really expect the movie to do.
Again, I don't think they're making this for Western audiences. I think this is going to be predominantly geared at a Chinese consumer. That's fine. But I just,
And then again, we still don't know if this is going to be in theaters or it could be for Disney Plus. Could be their first Marvel movie exclusive to Disney Plus. We don't know.
Well, I was just working on Gizmodo's title there, which is next big screen superhero.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So unless that they've just hyperbolaed and assumed, but if it's big screen, it just seems odd. Because the last time Marvel did big screen street level superheroes, it was the Daredevil movie.
Okay, according to the Deadline, which is the one that got the exclusive, they just said Marvel is fast-tracking to be the first superhero movie tentpole franchise with an Asian protagonist. So not big screen. I think Gizmodo just chucked it in there for a...
Right, okay.
Update.
Yeah. But, look, again, and if that's the case, if this is going Disney Plus and it's essentially replacing Iron Fist, that's fine. I don't see a problem with that. Because we all know that Marvel care what I think, and clearly make their decisions.
They listen, and they understand it.
Coming off that, we have some big news, and that Daredevil has been cancelled by Netflix after 3 seasons.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure at this stage we can kiss JJ and Punisher goodbye as well once we get season 3 and 2 of their shows respectively.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? We might actually get Punisher season 3, but I doubt we're going to get a season 4.
My breath. Yeah,
they didn't pick him up on their own service either.
Here's the thing. They said that while the series on Netflix has ended, the 3 existing seasons will remain on the service for years to come. Well, the Daredevil character will live on in future projects for Marvel. So that
that's vague as fuck.
Or whatever. Yeah. He might show up in a movie, another TV show. Who knows?
Netflix is done, and they keep saying it's got nothing to do with Disney. All right. Well, if that is the truth, then it sounds to me like Netflix has just gotten pissy.
Or Disney has gotten pissy at Netflix.
Someone's gotten pissy. But I mean, nobody's saying contracts have lapsed. Nobody's saying, they're all just going, one was creative differences and then the other one was something else. But I mean, Daredevil Season 3 was the strongest season of Daredevil yet. It was the best Netflix Marvel show I had ever seen. And they cancelled it. So, I mean, it sounds more like a lot of people are claiming it's viewer numbers. Well, if that's the case, then Netflix have got much bigger problems than Marvel shows. If they're dropping numbers like that on viewership on these kind of tentpole TV shows, they got some fucking huge problems then that they need to address. I think. My 2 cents.
Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got something that is as big as Daredevil and it's doing shit, then you've got problems beyond just Marvel content. Like that means then that all of your stuff is doing shit. So, pity, because I think they did it really well. And I said season 3 was really good. I was happy to see Iron Fist go. I thought Iron Fist was just fucking terrible. You know, when they dumped Luke Cage, I was kind of like, yeah, I guess, but maybe they'll sort of spin them off together as heroes for hire. But to dump Daredevil like this, it's like, well, that's disappointing. But I'm pretty sure I would be amazed and beyond belief if they retain Jessica Jones and Punisher. I think, you know, if any of them, you're right, yeah, maybe Punisher, because Punisher is very separate from the others in every way.
All the others, yeah, so...
And it's just going to depend, I guess, on the ratings.
So we'll see. Only time will tell. Now to get into some trailers, we had a trailer for Disney's Artemis Fowl, based on the best-selling book series. I haven't even read it. I know some people who have, and they love it. It's being directed by Kenneth Branagh, who's, you know, does some good movies, so it potentially could be good. But this could also turn out like the rest of Disney's live-action movies, Tron Legacy, Tomorrowland, Wrinkle in Time, and it could absolutely bomb at the box office.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not familiar with it. I've heard of it, but yeah, I didn't even watch the trailer, so can't say much.
I've heard of it. I watched the trailer. It's if like you know the character, I guess it's gonna be interesting. But I don't know the character, so I was just really confused when I was watching.
Yes. We had another big one, and we got a teaser trailer for Lion King, which sent the internet into a giant uproar.
Oh boy!
Because I don't have the same emotional attachment to Lion King as obviously some younger people do, I thought the reaction was going to be positive. But my daughter, who's only 17, she watched it and was raged. And more than that, because she's a huge Lilo and Stitch fan, and they're redoing that, and she's just like, oh god, no, don't destroy it.
What? They're redoing Lilo and Stitch?
Apparently, yeah.
Live action.
Live action Lilo and Stitch.
I
heard that, yeah.
Yeah, and she's terrified after watching the Lion King teaser trailer now. She's like, oh, please don't, just leave it alone. Yeah,
look this up.
I really liked it. It was shot for shot from the original trailer too.
Yeah, they are. It was announced in October this year. They're doing live action Lilo and Stitch. Fuck off!
Yep. I'll let my daughter know you agree.
Man, I don't want Lilo and Stitch. I'm keen for Lion King. The cast they have for the Lion King, I'm really looking forward.
I kept seeing like things on Twitter, and everyone's like, "I watched a Lion King trailer. I saw Seth Rogen's in the cast. Instantly knew he was playing Pumbaa without having to look it up." And I'm like, well, I mean, who else is he going to play, really?
Yeah, well, he's not going to play Rafiki, is he? No. Fools. He's going to play a fucking pig.
Well, I actually I found something out. I watched Mr. Sunday Movies on YouTube, and he brought up a thing about how the original Lion King is just copied off an old Japanese anime called Kimba the White Lion.
That was a TV series, yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
and that was shown on Australian TV too, like on the ABC for years, yeah.
It was broadcast in Japan in 1965 to 1967, and the guy that created it died in 1989.
But to give you a pro tip, there's very few original Disney stories. They're all taken from older stories.
Yeah. But Kimba and Lion King is real similar.
Oh, it's so much like I was watching comparison to it. But the thing is, that the guy who created Kimba, he died in 1989. And after he died, that's when Disney started developing Lion King. They waited for the guy to die, the creator for it to die, before they started making it.
Yeah, seems legit.
And I look at the comparisons, and it's almost one for one, so many things.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yep.
However, though, I am still really sorry for Lion King. I will die when Mufasa. I will die. I will cry when Mufasa dies, and I will be super hyped when they start seeing her venom.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm sure they're going to keep. They'd have to keep that one in there, but I know Aladdin's getting a lot of its songs dialed back, so I wonder if
it's anything like the Jungle Book, they will have snippets of the songs. Like in the Jungle Book, they have Baloo do part of Band Necessities, and they had King Louis partially sing I Want to Be Like You.
Why only partially?
But if go watch Christopher Walken as King Louis, and it is just terrifying when he starts singing. And he's like, "Who-be-do, I want to be like you." Who? Yeah, nah.
It'd be interesting to see how the new Mary Poppins does at the cinema, because it looks to be a return to full musicals.
And Dick Van Dyke's in it. So I'm gonna go
he
watch it.
cameo. He does cameo. Yep. All right. Anyway, moving on.
We had a trailer for Once Upon a Deadpool.
Yes.
13 Deadpool movie coming to theaters this Christmas with 20 minutes of additional footage.
Yep.
Oh,
Which is
I'm so
basically,
excited for this movie.
It's a bookend, I guess, quite literally.
They've literally got Fred Savage in there, and they're like, "Oh man, I can't wait! I can't wait!"
Yep, it's gonna be
I'm feeling with this. I mean, Deadpool 2 was okay. I'm not gonna rush out to watch this at the cinemas at all. I'll wait for a home media release.
It's
a
only
date
in
flick.
cinemas for like the holiday period. After the holiday period, it's out. It's done. It's not long.
Yeah.
It's only gonna be like 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's a date flick.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's something you take a date on.
I'm gonna take my kids to see it. It's PG-13. They're coming to watch Deadpool.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, I mean, it probably will capture some of that younger market that may not have been able to see it the first time around. So, yeah.
Come watch Deadpool, not be as violent and not swear a lot. It's gonna be great.
Well, I think
Fred Savage.
it's a litmus test too to see if they can slide that character into the MCU.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
And also, just I forgot I was going to say anyone. I was going to say something, and I've completely blanked on what it was I was going to say. I got distracted.
Must have been a
reading
lie.
something, and I'm like,
Yeah, werewolves.
Well, moving on.
Werewolves. You're moving on to the big trailer. We had Captain Marvel drop today, trailer 2,
Yep,
showing a whole lot more.
sure did.
A whole lot
So
Sure
excited.
did.
more. One little thing that was just sent that you see one scene where she seems to drive what appears to be a Quinjet. You can see there's on the ground next to it. It says Pegasus, and we also had Project Pegasus was teased at the start of Avengers 1, where they kept the Tesseract, where Loki invaded. Right at the start was a Project Pegasus lab. So that could be where this part of the movie is set. Who knows?
Okay.
But-
I didn't see Coulson.
No, I
Coulson,
don't think we saw him directly. I think we may have seen him just like walk in a scene.
There's been no. They're doing reshoots last week, and he was on set for that as well with the little CGI dots on his face and everything. So
Yeah.
I was just really happy to see Nick Fury pet a cat, and it made me happy.
They're obviously showing, it's you know, and you're going to see how he becomes more of a bitter bastard, I guess.
It seems to be that way.
He loses his eye and why he doesn't trust people and everything like that.
Yeah.
Why he's so hard on everyone. And
Well, the trust is going to be coming from the Skrulls.
yeah,
everyone.
exactly. Yeah.
I really liked the look of Captain Marvel though from the trailer. Like I loved her with a mohawk, and you see her like the mohawk just disappear off her head, and the hair just fall straight back down.
That looked nice. That looked really good.
Yeah, it looks really, really clean.
It's interesting they still haven't revealed what Jude Law's playing. Like there was a vinyl released of his character.
Yep.
And they didn't put the name on the box.
No. The name did actually get leaked. The actual name.
Ah, okay.
So
Is he Marvel?
No.
Okay,
He's
that's
not.
interesting then. Okay, cool.
The thing is, like from this trailer, people think that they've gender swapped Annette Bening to be Marvel. She's the one talking about how they made her free and all that sort of thing.
Yep, fair enough.
So she could be Marvel. Jude Law, I don't know if I should say.
I suspect he's going to be the baddie.
Yeah, I was actually really shocked that he was actually in the film. I didn't even know he was in the movie. I was like, oh look, it's Jude Law. Why is Jude Law in this movie?
But more excitingly, we should.
Going well. Should get it. Thursday.
Avengers 4 trailer, Thursday, Australia time.
Hopefully Thursday. But they said they want to market this movie different, so I know Jeremy Renner was filming some promos for it. So what if the whole thing's just the actors talking and then all the hype and speculation is just completely built by fans for the next 6 months before the movie's out? I know. It's much, and like I talked to Lucas and I'm like, I would be happy if we just get one trailer at the end of Captain Marvel and that's it. Only give us one trailer until the movie comes out. As much as we know about all the leaks and stuff like that, I would like just one trailer.
I think the post-credit scene for Captain Marvel is surely going to be her getting paged.
Yeah,
most likely. Yeah,
isn't it? Really?
Do you know what? I would. My perfect trailer for Avengers 4 would just like be Tom Holland talking about Avengers 4. Perfect trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it's because
the reason why they released, because the rumor was originally Avengers 4 was going to be first and then Captain Marvel, and they thought, well, hold on, what if we have shots of Captain Marvel in her red and blue costume in the Captain Marvel trailer? But then in the Avengers 4 trailer, you see shots of her in that as well. So they had to do the Avengers 4 after, because she could be in the trailer for it.
All right, so let's dip into... I haven't seen it, I don't think Dan has, but you've seen the new animated Spider-Man film on a sort of a early screening.
I have.
Hate you.
It doesn't come out until next week on Thursday, and I watched it on the Sunday just gone.
Share with us your spoiler-free thoughts on Into the Spider-Verse.
I'll start with the animation. The animation is fucking amazing. It's just a pleasure to look at. Just the animation style, how it's done, everything like that. Each different Spider-Man you see in the movie has their own unique animation style to them, which just helps them stand out and be a unique character on its own. The soundtrack is good. It's perfect for the type of movie. It also reflects on Miles and how he is in his upbringing and a kid his age and what music they would listen to. That all went well with the movie. The plot and how the story flowed. It kind of wasn't a dull moment at all in the movie, but it also gave you time to breathe through it as well. So it paced itself really well, while also giving you so much to take in and so much to look at the same time. Probably one of the best, I would say it is the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen.
All right.
Judging from the 6 that are currently out, this being the 7th one, it is the best one out of all of them.
Right, so this is better than the Toby Maguire, this is better than the Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
And this is better than the Tom Holland.
Yep, that's better than all of them.
That's a big statement.
And I stand by it. I will pretty much give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh wow, okay. Can you tell me just real quick, is Spider-Ham in it?
Well, he's in the trailer. You see him in it.
Good, I'm just confirming, because I really hope he was.
And stay for an after credit scene because it is fucking amazing.
All right.
How many after credit scenes are there?
Just one right at the end.
Just one?
One right at
the
end.
Oh, okay, right at the end.
Stick around.
Yeah.
Right. So that comes out Thursday week.
Yep, so it comes out on the
13th.
13th, 14th, around there.
All right, go see it. Cool. Excellent. All right. Last couple of podcasts I've spoken briefly about the Kanopy streaming service. I actually had a chance to test that now. I went down to my local library and renewed my card. And just getting back to that and anybody else that was curious about it. So it is a completely free streaming service. So this is ideal for, those that maybe don't have the budget or are not ready to jump into monthly payments on Netflix or Stan or one of those services. So it's completely free. All you need is your library card. My library gives me 10 play credits. And for each credit, I can rent a movie for 3 days. And during that 3 days, I can play it as many times as I want. So you can't just go ham and watch sort of everything. But if you consider 30 days in a month, 10 credits, 3 days, that's you could literally have, streaming movies, across the month period. So all you need is a library card. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. Just get yourself, as far as I can see, just get yourself a library card and sign on up. Completely free. They have some good stuff on there. It's not all trash, but they also got a lot of more variation as well. So you've got documentaries, there's a lot of them, and movies and stuff, but they also have a lot of educational stuff that you don't see on other streaming services. And it's not just for kids either. They've got stuff on you want to learn how to do psychology or woodworking or any of this sort of stuff. They've got a lot of that kind of stuff on there too. So yeah, get your library card, give it a look. It's pretty cool for what you're getting. Nothing, right? It's great. Anyway, we're going to take a look at the Terminator filmography, being that we've got a 6th film coming out soon, and we're just going to sort of run through the films and the series, share some thoughts, share some highlights, because we can. And there's not much else to talk about at the moment because we're sort of in a lull period at the cinema this time of year. So the first film, of course, 1984, The Terminator, directed by James Cameron, written by James Cameron and his, future wife, I think at the time, or whatever, Gail Ann Hurd, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn, others. Brilliant film.
Yeah, it was.
I
recently picked the 3 Terminator movies up for like $6 each. JBI Fine Blu-ray. I saw them there and I was like, I'm going to watch these again because I haven't seen them in ages.
Great.
And it's still good. It still holds up these days.
Nice. I think I only got the second one on Blu-ray, so I might have to have a look and see if I can get that.
They had the remastered director's cut of Judgment Day.
Yeah, which is what I have. Yeah.
They had that one.
But yeah, you've of course you've seen the original one, Dan?
Oh hell yeah! Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
I think I watched when I was like 8, and I kind of didn't know what was going on a lot.
Yeah, I was the same. I watched it fairly young, and I remember it scaring me. It was like robots coming back and like killing people. I was terrified of it, but yeah.
Well, the first time, I was 6 or 7 when this would have come out, and I remember I was probably a little bit older, maybe 8, but I remember my parents borrowing an original VHS copy of this off somebody, along with a few other things, and I remember watching this on video cassette in the 80s. And just having such an impact. It was scary. And that's one thing I think the series has lost over time. And this is, you gotta remember, this is the only R-rated film in the series as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
The original Terminator, it reminded me a lot of Alien or, say, Predator or one of those films where you've got this relentless... Well, there's that, of course, but there's this relentless hunter and nobody can help you kind of scenario, you know what I mean? And so it creates tension and it creates fear. And it was very much, while it had action sequences, I would still, in my mind, classify the original Terminator as more of a thriller almost. Because it's got those sort of real edge-of-the-seat stuff. I mean, even the musical soundtrack plays to that. Like, it's really, and then they think they beat it, and then it's climbing back at them. It's just, it's frightening. But it's sort of not quite horror, so I'd say it's more like a thriller. But yeah, I mean, it was based on a dream that Cameron had, like this fever dream. And then he sort of woke up and sketched this scene, because he's obviously a fantastic artist. And he'd sketched this scene of... the endoskeleton climbing out of a fire, and he sort of based the rest of the film around that. And I thought what was really interesting was originally Schwarzenegger was to play the human hero, because the idea being that the Terminator should be an any-man. He's an infiltration unit. So originally, I think it was Lance Henriksen who plays the cop in this, was supposed to be the Terminator, because he just looks like the next guy on the street.
Just a random dude, yeah.
He shouldn't be this huge bodybuilder, because obviously then he stands out. But then it's sort of, hey, look, it's a popcorn flick, and that's kind of what happened. But yes, interesting stuff, and a great film. And in my mind, it's never quite reached those heights. I know the sequel went and made a lot more money, but to me, the original is still the best.
Didn't Arnie say like 17 lines in that whole movie? Was it that one?
Like that. It was ridiculous. It's very low.
But that's what also made it like scary. Is he didn't say anything
because it wouldn't be efficient.
He just stood there. He's stared at you. It's this 6'6" muscular giant just looking at you, and just like breaks you in half. Terrifying as a child.
To bring it back to the ratings, I'm pretty sure the only reason why this one got an R rating was for the 160 minute with Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I got the R rating.
It was reasonably gory.
It was fairly gory for what it was,
especially when he cuts his eye out, and all that sort of stuff. Like it's definitely sort of some adult themes there, but it also had language. And again, if you go back to the 80s. There's lines that they cut out for the TV release, like "fuck you, arsehole" and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I've got a dub of this on tape somewhere from the 80s off TV too, and it's that dumbed down cut. But an amazing film, very unique, very original, and I still watch it now and again, when the mood suits me. But I remember this. So in 1991, we had Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And the other thing that was so interesting, of course, with the original Terminator that's never been reproduced is he was the villain. He was the villain in the original. He was never the villain ever again. Because Arnold doesn't like playing bad guys. Yeah. That was sad.
Well, I mean, yeah. Later on down the track, he became a bad guy. It wasn't actually him, though.
Yeah,
Just
but you know
because
what I
you're a
mean.
bad guy does not make you a bad guy.
So
Right.
this, I felt, was Hollywood sort of interfering a little bit. I feel. I don't know how right I am, but I mean, Terminator 2 was a massive financial success. I mean, it launched, it springboarded Cameron in many ways, and it made a shit ton of money, and was very much a sort of summer Hollywood popcorn flick. But they dumbed down the violence. You know, they introduced a kid. They made it more family orientated.
But did they? The
I
scenes
think
of
they did.
Sarah Connor in that mental hospital were pretty full on.
Yeah, and they cut a lot out of that. But
Yes, they did. Yeah, they did.
But I still feel that if you compare this to the first film, this was much more family orientated than the original.
yes, I can
And
agree.
I remember being, I was in, what is this? In '91, I would have been in year 8 of high school, and I remember friends going and seeing this at the cinema. So here we are at what, 13 or 14, and everyone just went off to see this thing. Like it did an astronomical amount of money for the time.
Yeah,
it was-
$523 million.
Yeah, in '91, over $500 million. That's just an obscene amount of money. And look, by and large, I thought this was still a good film, and I've gone back and watched it just as many times.
I actually prefer Judgment Day over the first one, to be honest.
A lot of people do. That's the thing. Yeah, and I think because you probably would have watched Judgment Day before you watched the Terminator.
No, I watched the first one. My mum and dad made me watch
did?
it in order.
Okay.
Yeah, I was the same. My parents made me watch them in order. I prefer Judgment Day as well, only because what was it, T1000? Not was it T1000?
Yeah,
Terminator,
T1000.
like you morph.
Robert
Yeah,
Patrick.
that's what I liked. Yeah, I liked
Yeah,
that.
that was a
but that was
great
your everyman as well. I think
was the
that was
point.
your everyman.
Yeah, that was the point. So I think Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor was better in this than the first one. Where she plays the hard mother sort of character, and that was fine. Obviously, there's some comedic elements that were brought in here, and I know, having watched the making of stuff, a lot of that comedy was put in there again to lighten the mood and give it more of that PG-13 rather than a hard R. With the put your leg down and all that sort of stuff, like those sort of smile and hasta la vista and all that. Like it was more family friendly. But yeah, I mean it was good. It was good. But I mean,
It was.
you guys
I mean,
preferred
you
it
got
over the
some-
first one. I think I still prefer the first one more than this one, just because it felt dumbed down to me, and I just don't like. And this is always the thing I've seen over decades now, where the first movie might be more art house or niche or violent or sexy or whatever, and then it does well, and then so they just tame the shit out of it to for the sequel to make it more mainstream, and it infuriates me because it loses something that made it special to begin with.
Could that also be the age that you watched that at as well, though? Like, if you're watching it a year rated 13, you're like, I really preferred that first one because that's when you first remembered seeing.
But I
Easy
was
second.
13 or 14 when I saw Terminator 2. It was pitched directly at kids my age.
Yeah, so you saw that when you were that age. When you remember seeing the first one, you were 8. Is that like?
Well, I was probably about 10 or something. But yeah.
It's like I always liked the first one when I was young, and then I see the second one. Like, this is crap compared to the first one. 'Cause the first one is nostalgic, and I like that one.
But again, no, it's not the nostalgic. It's the fact that they removed some of the violence. They tried to put more comedy in and all that sort of stuff. And that's usually what upsets me when they do these sequels. Is when you change and very, very rarely does that work. Alien to Aliens is an example of how it worked because Cameron didn't try and reinvent the wheel. He took the whole thing in a completely different direction, which was fine. He made it his own. But these films, this really does feel to me like dumbed down to make more money.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I hate it when and we're only just coming back into an age of cinema now where they've stopped doing that as much. I think the Expendables, if you followed that saga, was right. Well, the first two were R, and then the third one was locally was MA.
Yeah.
And they took out all the blood spurts and a lot of the violence, and it did poorly at the cinema. And Stallone has already said, the fourth one is going to go back to being an R.
Without Terry Crews, dissect.
Yes. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, we're only
Yeah.
just getting to an age now where we are making money off R-rated movies, and so they're not necessarily dumbing down stuff. And they're even, when they are, it's not making as much money. So that's good. That's good. And this was the last time Cameron touched the series, because then we move into Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. What the fuck? What the actual fuck?
I didn't actually mind 3, to be honest. I don't mind it.
You were just
I didn't mind
perving
it.
on Christina Loken, weren't you?
I saw Bloody and I had to watch bloody Terminator 3, alright? I had to watch it after watching that.
I remember watching Terminator 3 and just going, the fuck am I watching? Like, why?
I'm pretty sure I saw the
doesn't-
trailer and avoided this thing for a long time.
I know I didn't see it on release. Like, I know I didn't. I did not go. I waited a while until I saw.
Yeah, I mean, look, I thought Nick Stahl did alright as John Connor. Claire Danes was okay. So some of the acting was okay, but the story was very forgettable, and I really didn't like what they'd done with the Terminator character in this film, and yeah, it just felt like a last minute cash in, to be honest.
Just real quick, what was the plot of that movie? I genuinely don't remember.
Okay,
what
so
even
because
happened.
obviously
That's how bad
the theatrical ending of Terminator 2 was we don't know what happens next.
Yes, of course.
And then Terminator 3 says that, okay, Sarah Connor died from cancer, and that, John went to ground and lived off the grid, and, thought that everything was prevented, and then it turns out it's not, and it shows at the end all the missiles being launched, and that, they were unable to prevent Judgment Day. It just stalled by a decade or whatever. That was basically the synopsis.
That was it.
Yeah.
And then Terminator kills John in the future, and then Kate sends it back. Okay, cool.
So
yeah, I remember now.
It's basically the showing you the immediate lead up to the beginning of Judgment Day, and it was terrible. It was terrible, and it's probably, in my opinion, of all the Terminator films I've seen, this is the weakest.
I could agree with that 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely. Yeah,
I did not enjoy it.
And I'll explain my reasons why on the other two that followed.
All right.
But yeah, this to me, because it's still set in modern day Earth, so there's nothing really new or exciting. We've already done this twice. Arnold's getting a little older, obviously, and it didn't really give us anything new or terribly exciting. It didn't take it in any particular direction. It was just sort of, a rehash almost of Terminator 2 in many ways. Yeah. And it just didn't work. And again, it was dumbed down, and it was just,
But still, it made $433 million.
Of course it did. Yeah, of course it did. 2009, Terminator Salvation. The first, last and only Terminator film without Arnold Schwarzenegger. And in terms of reviews, largely panned. Didn't do particularly well. Yet I enjoyed it. And I'll give you the quick reason why. The quick reason why I enjoyed it is it gave us something that we'd been wanting since 1984, and that was a movie set in the future.
Yeah, I'll agree. Yeah.
The script was okay. The acting pretty terrible. The story was okay. This is Christian Bale and Sam Worthington. Right?
Wasn't this the one where Christian Bale like absolutely ape shit at the guy?
It was a.
He was just off the end of his Batman stint, I think.
Batman High, yeah. And he just did Dark Knight because Dark Knight released in 2008. So this was just before.
So he was still doing his "Where's Rachel" voice. I don't give a fuck. It had Anton Yelchin, rest in peace, as Carl Reese. We got to see Helena Carter as essentially what becomes the face of Cyberdyne. It wasn't bad, and it had a few good beats. There's a few parts of the story that were kind of cool because they did explain. Obviously, one of the great beats was when he bumps into the T-800 and it's the CGI Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah.
There's some classic beat moments in there. You got to see how John Connor got the scar in his face.
Yes.
That had been there since T2 in the flash forward scene. So there was a lot of really neat beats in this film. Overall, it's a pretty crummy film, but there's some really neat beats, and I liked it for that. Now, this was supposed to kickstart a new trilogy. Didn't happen. Didn't do well enough at the cinema. Didn't make enough money. But it wasn't look, if you're doing a binge, this is for me a lot more enjoyable than Terminator 3.
Yeah. Oh, well, what I really liked in Salvation though is you look at Connor's relationship with Kyle Reese. Like, he knows that's his dad, and he's like, trying to teach him all this stuff, like how survivor stuff. It's like, you need to go back. You need to save my mum and start the cycle all over again.
Yeah.
Really.
And what's really exciting is if you get the Blu-ray with the deleted scenes, you get to see Moon Bloodgood's boobs.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just totally worth.
Time for me to actually buy this one.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I did actually enjoy this one. I did enjoy it.
Blu-ray copies were
Yeah, DVD sales and Blu-ray sales just go through the roof. There you go. All right. Then we had in 2015 the second attempt to start a new trilogy. And this got even more panned, which is funny because I liked it, and I thought that, especially from the trailers, this had a lot of appeal. Terminator Genesis. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jason Clarke, Emilia Clarke, Jai Courtney, of course, and others. And Matt Smith, his mysterious role. Look, again, much like Salvation, I thought the script, the story, and the acting were better than Salvation. I liked the ideas. I thought the idea was neat on how, they changed the timelines by having something else happen and then sort of showing those movie moments from, the first movie, but from a different perspective. I all thought that was really clever. I think some of the acting was a little weak, very especially Jai. I thought his acting was a bit as Kyle Reese.
I thought that was Emilia Clarke's acting as Sarah Connor. I thought she was terrible.
I thought she captured the Sarah Connor quite well, actually. I mean, it's kind of like Will Smith stepping into Robin Williams' shoes for Aladdin. It's a tough one to beat, but I think she did alright. She also looked fairly close. The haircut and everything was
very, very close. Yeah,
it wasn't bad. This was a PG-13 as well. Metascore is currently 38. I liked the idea how they explained, Arnold looking older, because he waits.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
You also got to see before something we hadn't seen before. We got back and we get a flashback to before the first Terminator movie, and we see Sarah Connor as a young girl. So that was kind of a neat beat. Yeah, look, again, for me anyway, it's better than Terminator 3. I thought that what they did with the John Connor character was interesting.
That was an interesting twist that I didn't see coming when I was watching it.
What's also interesting, and this is where we're going next, it does actually, because it does consider a lot of material that came before it, it obviously shows scenes almost one-to-one from the original Terminator movie.
Yeah.
It has a couple of beats from the other movies, but it also took into account some of the storyline that was laid down in the TV series as well. In particular, the cancer storyline, and also the time-traveling forward story arc and appearing in a freeway. This was something that was also done on the TV show. So they really did sort of watch all of the material available and consider, which was nice. I appreciate that. But yeah, again, this was supposed to be the start of a trilogy. It didn't happen.
Thank fuck for that.
Well, just wait.
Yeah. So we had two sort of TV series. There was a web series called Terminator Salvation, the Machinima series in 2009. I haven't seen it, but it's set between Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines and Terminator Salvation. It was made primarily as a prequel to Salvation. And that's a 6-parter. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it. But in 2008 to 2009, we got Terminator the Sarah Connor Chronicles. And this was a TV series that
was terrible.
Like what they've been doing with other films, it ignores everything after the second film. And it starred Lena Headey as Sarah Connor, and I thought she actually did a really good role. Lena Headey's got that ability to play a real tough bitch, excuse the phrase, but you know what I mean. Like she can play that part well. And she did it well in this. Thomas Dekker, a young fella, as John Connor, and then you had Summer Glau, who was the sort of the key Terminator that was helping the family, called Cameron, and a few others in there as well. And I didn't mind it, and it did all right. I mean, it's got an IMDb rating of 7.7. It wasn't bad. The problem was it sort of hit a real cliffhanger moment in the end of the second season and took things in a really interesting direction. I mean, I'm going to spoil it because who cares, right? It's been out for where John Connor, the boy, time travels into the future when they're fighting the robots, and because he does that, he was never there in the past to lead the resistance, so nobody knows who he is. And sort of it changes.
Thanks for that spoiler, Toby. Now I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, it's actually werewolves, right? No, but the point was it tried to do different things, and it where the movies just sort of have, well, apart from Genesis, the time travel is kind of mentioned, but it's a one-off thing or a one-way thing and all this sort of stuff. This had a bit more of that, and it would show things like Terminators arming up, like acquiring a bunch of weapons and goods, all this sort of stuff. So they get sent back with orders going, we need all this materials, this metals and ammunition, whatever. So they go and stockpile all this shit, bury it underground with themselves, and then just deactivate for 100 years or whatever it was. And so it would show this sort of stuff, and it showed more of preparing for the war and all this sort of stuff. And it was pretty cool. And then sort of at the end of, well, I think in the series it starts off sort of back in the 80s, then they jump forwards to sort of present day and all this sort of stuff. It wasn't too bad, and if you've got the time, you know, it's I would suggest it's worth a watch. You can pick up the DVD box set pretty cheap now. I mean, it's PG, like it's TV PG, so it's not like you're gonna get, you know, tits and ass and heads exploding, but it does introduce some interesting stuff into the whole saga, and it explains a few things as well that was sort of only briefly touched on in the movies. So, you know, if you didn't know it existed, I'm sure it's probably cheap as all fuck down at, you know, JB Hi-Fi. You know, have a look at it, especially if you're going to do a binge. Why not?
31 episodes, may as well.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And then, so next year, 2019, we're going to get Terminator 6. Yeah, and this is
Untitled Terminator. It's just known as Terminator 6.
Now you've got Tim Miller directing.
Deadpool.
Right. Now, yeah, exactly. And you've also
Cameron
got
back to produce.
Yeah. But you've also got
Linda Hamilton coming back as Sarah Connor.
Yeah. What I was going to say, more importantly, you've got David Goyer, who's credited as screenplay, which should appeal to you, Ethan, because you're a big fan of Goyer's work.
Yep.
So it's not a bad lineup. So yeah, Miller's directing. You got Cameron and David Ellison producing. You've got Goyer, Cameron, Miller, and Ellison as on the screenplay and the story. And this is something I noticed the other day too. Yeah, it was with Venom. Yeah, Tencent Pictures as a production company along with a couple of others. Big Chinese company that's worth more than Facebook. They're worth about 530 billion.
Shit.
Yeah, they also make Ring of Elysium, the battle
Oh,
royale
that's right. We've had discussions so many times.
Yeah, so that's
They also
Tencent.
helped produce Wonder Woman, Kong Skull Island, Warcraft.
Yeah, they're getting into a lot of
Bumblebee.
Hollywood movies now. Yeah, they're big, and they're very big, huge money. Paramount Pictures, 20th Century Fox. Yeah, November 1st, 2019. We've seen screenshots and we've seen set shots, I should say, of Linda Hamilton. And she's looking quite aged, but that's fair enough. I mean, time has passed. We don't really know too much about.
She's 62 now.
Yeah, and I think too. I mean, a lot of Hollywood stars look glamorous regardless of age on the red carpet. I think they really intentionally dressed her down for this to make it look tired. And that was, if you look back at Terminator 2 as well, they didn't put a lot of makeup on her. Like, they intentionally kept her sensible.
Like she was beaten, just tired, you know.
Tired, but also a warrior. I mean, a warrior doesn't worry about, you know, their eyelashes and lipstick. You know what I mean? Like, she was a tough bitch. She wasn't, you know, a screaming twat. You know what I mean? So they seem to have sort of keep that kind of look to her. So yeah, but we don't have a lot of information on it, unfortunately, other than obviously it's back in Cameron's hands. It's ignoring everything after Terminator 2.
Judgment Day.
Yeah, it's a direct sequel to Judgment Day.
Oh, that's gonna be pretty cool. So I'm assuming at the moment there's no Arnold's in this either.
No, Arnold's in it.
Oh, he is?
He is.
There it is. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I do see that now. Yeah.
Yeah, and Linda Hamilton. So
That's pretty good then.
Yeah. So, and of interest, I'm just reading here, apparently Josh Friedman, who's the creator of Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles, also had a bit of a hand in some of the writing.
Oh, okay.
So again, like they've sort of,
Yeah.
dabbled in and got people on board who knew their shit. And as I said, that was the thing. The TV series wasn't particularly great, but it did have some good lore. So, I guess and I know this is, this new film, this Terminator 6 is obviously, they're looking again to start a new trilogy. The rumors are that it's meant to be a hand-down film in that, Hamilton's going to hand over the fight to a new young heroine. Because we did see a couple of promotional shots with the 3 female leads.
Yeah. Mackenzie Davis and Gabriel Luna.
Yeah.
No, Gabriel Luna, Natalie Reyes. Sorry.
Yeah. So, I believe everything I've heard so far, the rumors are it's a bit of a hand-down piece. And so this would be sort of Schwarzenegger and Hamilton coming back, reprising roles, and then it's going to hand down to obviously a younger team. And if it does well, we'll see, another 2 films to sort of round out a trilogy. But, like others that sort of started in the 80s, this is definitely one of the more well-known movie series, I guess. You'd be hard pushed to find someone that, if they haven't seen the film, any of the films, at least everyone I know of has at least heard of the films. You'd be hard pushed to find someone that hasn't heard of the Terminator. And Sarah Connor, I'll be back.
Best one-liners, best one-liners ever.
Yeah, that's where I'll be back came from.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think originally Schwarzenegger wanted to change the line to something else that was sort of like "I will come back" or whatever, because of his accent, he really struggled with "I will." He couldn't pronounce it properly. So, yeah. But great series. It's had some downs for sure, but it's had a few ups, and I'm fairly confident that back in Cameron's hands, this should be a return to form, all going well.
I'm very excited for it. Like, now, I didn't know Cameron was involved, and now I know I'm really looking forward to actually seeing that one.
Yeah. That's all we got time for this fortnight. So thank you very much for tuning in and listening. A huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. You make this possible. Keep us alive and well with our SoundCloud account. We'll be back next fortnight with whatever news may crop up between now and then. Obviously,
hopefully, Avengers 4 trailer we can discuss.
Yes, that would be fun. And not just discuss, I'm sure Ethan's going to absolutely frame by frame that with Lucas.
Oh, I will be doing exactly that.
He's probably got Thursday off and 3 boxes of Kleenex on his desk ready to go.
Because Avengers 4 comes out next year. This year it came out on... Infinity War came out on Anzac Day, which was the 24th or something like that, I think, this year it came out. I've taken the Wednesday and Friday off next year, so I have 3 days off when Avengers 4 comes out, so I can watch it as many times as I want. No 3 days.
I'm very proud.
Well, yeah. So anyway, fingers crossed, Australia audiences, we should have Thursday the 6th, we should have the first trailer, and that's obviously going to reveal the name, probably the backbone or basics of the plot. All going well. Fingers crossed. Very exciting stuff. But we'll be back, and we'll have whatever exciting stories to tell. Until then, we'll see you next fortnight.